I'm out here in my greenhouse. I was gonna film some awesome content for y'all, and of course I get out here with my camera that I normally use, and I left the memory card in the computer, so I'm filming on my phone, so bear with me. But I wanted to show you what I'm doing to pot up my tomato plants. It's only been about 3 weeks. They're looking great. They're needing some nutrients. I'm going to attempt to pot some of them up, so I'm going to show you guys how I go about doing that. All right, so these are my tomato plants. We've got several different varieties here, and they are looking great. Most of them I planted more than one seed, as you can see, and this happened to me last year where I had really good germination with most of them, and so instead of just getting rid of one of those lovely plant starts, in the process of potting them up, I attempt to separate them and make two. So it's a little bit more work, but I think it's worth it. So I'm going to take these 50 blocks and separate them as needed when there's more than one, and plant them in these little containers. So that's the task. I've got 2 flats set up, and we'll see how it goes. And then once I get those in there, I will water them with some fertilizer. I'm actually out of my seed starting mix, but since I'm technically potting these up, I'm going to use some potting soil that I have. I don't particularly love this potting soil because when I opened the bag originally, there was way too many sticks and woody pieces that I just don't want. So I'm going to get something out of our shed and use it as a screen so that I can kind of sift. Do not judge the shed ever. But so that I can sift my dirt that's in this potting soil bag and get out kind of some of the woody bits and whatnot. So I've got these, which this is the first thing I ever bought when I was trying to do soil blocks, and it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So I have a bunch of them. I figured I could use these to screen this dirt, and we'll see how it goes. This should not be in your potting mix. I don't think that is what makes great soil. You do need some mulch, but the amount that is still in here, because my sifter doesn't have really that small of holes, I still have quite a bit of woody pieces in here that I'm gonna kind of pull, and I may sift it one more time. I got that somewhat better. I pulled a ton of wood out. As you can see, there's still quite a bit of chunky bits in here, so needless to say, I'll never buy that brand of potting soil again. But I did go ahead and add some worm castings in here that I had just to kind of boost up the nutrient content in here. You don't ever want dead soil when you've got really baby plants. So now our job is to add dirt to our little cups and transplant our tomato plants. All right, so I pulled out one of my soil blocks, and you can see that the roots are already showing on these guys, which is incredible for 3 weeks in the block. But what we do in this case is still keep really good records about where I'm putting all of these, but I'm going to gently pull these 2 plants apart. And you just want to gently pull. And now I've got 2 baby tomato plants that I'm going to get in my containers. And if you look really close, you can see the difference in these first 2 leaves and these leaves. These are the first set of leaves. They're actually not true leaves. They're called cotyledon leaves. And they live inside that tiny little seed. And then once they come out and grow up, they will send out a shoot that has your first set first, second, and third sets of true leaves. There's nothing better than the smell of a tomato plant. So I'm gonna get busy. I'll show you guys what it looks like when we're all done. So here's one of my little baby tomato plants that I separated, and I am just kind of using my finger as a dibbler to make a reservoir or hole for this plant, because I want to plant my tomato plant as deep as possible. Anytime you're transplanting your tomatoes, whether it's in a new pot or into the ground, you want to get that stem buried as much as possible because it makes for a stronger plant. Tomato plants get really heavy really quick, so we want to make sure that the root structure is really sound and that the stem is really strong, and everywhere that a tomato plant is touching dirt, it will send out roots. So it's kind of cool. It is incredible to me to see how these roots within 3 weeks are already looking for more ground. So the grow light setup works, y'all. I'm telling you, it's been a game changer ever since I started. I have a class if you want to learn how to grow your plants from seed. Literally get hundreds of tomatoes for the price of one seed is maybe a nickel. It's wild. If that's your thing, I'll put a link in the description below for our garden class called Sow, Reap, Eat. Alright, so as you can see, I got 2 trays potted up today. It's time for me to go back inside, but some of my favorite tomatoes are in these flats now. I've got Berkeley, tie-dye, carbon tomatoes, and my very favorite Cherokee purple. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, maybe next time I won't be shooting on my phone, but give me a like, subscribe if you want to see more content. Thanks, you guys.